This meeting is being recorded.
All righty then. Hey, Peter and Elka. Welcome to all the new faces. There's too many of them for me to. I'll take a few minutes if I acknowledge everybody by name and then ask your life story. So we're just going to welcome all of you old timers with me, even if you're younger than me. Just kind of wave and say hi to everybody. They have no fucking idea what they just got themselves into. So kind of, you guys smile and act like it's all normal. So it looks like almost everybody's muted. If you're not, if you will mouse over your video. Sherry just got it right as I said it. Awesome. All right, I see a couple people still not muted. If you're hearing me, oh, there you go. Looks like that might be everybody. Robin Nazi. Is not, but if we get any noise, that's okay. So, tell you what, well, you know what, the audio is working. That's right, because when I came on, I could hear a couple of you guys talking. So we're good to go on this end. All right, so I'm going, oh, who was that? Who was that? Somebody just coughed. So that can turn into a distraction. You wanted to see who? Mute all, yeah. There you go. Perfect. Little arrow to the left of it. Oh. Yep, that's the one. Yay. All righty, so those of you who are new, let me just do the quickest orientation and guidance. Some of you haven't even seen the orientation session yet. So when we get on the calls, we all aim to be here on time, myself included, and internet land, people are getting to their computer from all kind of stuff. So I normally officially start around 7 minutes after the hour, but just don't show up at 7 minutes after the hour. Get on, take a couple minutes to breathe, and then we deal with those stragglers and work with them as they join. When you come on, please have video on. Check your mic if you want to, just in case you might come on. I might be doing some spell break in that session. And then mute. And if necessary, we can always hit that mute everybody button. And it ends up okay anyway. All of you that have been with me for a while, some of you through many programs, just understand if I play a little bit differently today, it's out of consideration that these people haven't even seen the orientation session yet. So those of you that are new, that this is your first session, are you ready? You've seen enough to know there might be something going on here? Oh, okay, I can throw that in too. So if you are driving or if you're out walking when you start the session, it'd be great if you turn video off just so that it's not like, like that, because some of us can get distracted by it. So then if that's the case, as soon as you get back to a quiet place where you're still, click your video camera back on. Okay, everybody cool? Got that pretty clear? So I really am not kidding that you have no idea what you got yourself into. Your infinite unlimited being does, but this is not normal. Would you agree, Jill? This is not normal? Elaine? Yeah. Most of us have been around the block several times, and none of us have tasted the infinite truth to the level that's available, even if we think we have. Just the fact that we're thinking that we have, that tells us right there. No, not to the level we can, not the level we can go. And the only thing that I'm focused on here, those of you that are on phones and tablets, always please take that extra moment before we get on to get it set up and stable and solid for your comfort and everybody else's. Plus, if you're lounging, it's really difficult, if not impossible, to keep a totally straight spine and really maximize your breath. So do that for yourself. So the only thing that I'm focused on here, well, really the only thing I'm focused on is making my own life as awesome as I can, expanding into infinite freedom, moment to moment by moment. And, you know, I discovered a while back that the only way that I can do that is if I'm doing it for everybody, because everybody be one. So the only thing I'm focused on these sessions is creating the universe of love and joy and peace, allowing that universe into my experience more every minute by assisting everybody that comes to me with an open mind, wanting more of this, helping them to do the exact same thing. Clear? Simple. Helpful to those of you that this is your 87th session with me? Is it helpful to still hear that? You'll be either terrified or thrilled to know that I come to every session with absolutely no fucking idea. Not a minute of preparation or forethought or what would today be? I have no idea. Ever. And therefore, I always get to find out what today's session is about. I think that was clever what I just said, Rich. Did you? I think that was very clever. I'll pat myself on the back later. Because I come to the session with absolutely no clue, pretty much the way I go to my life, with absolutely no clue, I get to actually find out and interact with that, as opposed to going in already reacting to what hasn't happened yet that I'm sure will. I know you guys don't ever do that. So I wasn't hinting about that much. So the first focus that I have is that you're breathing, not with some breath technique, not with some fancy schmancy spiritual gobbledygook shit. The 14-step reverse nostril with your left foot between your butt cheeks breath. Like those are all great. Like every one of those breaths has some benefit, and you know, whatever you, okay. I'm focused on breathing in the way that a human being who's alive and feeling safe can breathe, so that they actually feel safe and alive and are able to be present to what's going on in front of them, rather than going into it already braced for what they know is going to happen. You might call it presence. So if you're breathing in through your nose and out through your mouth, relaxing a bit, you start to get sleepy, fall asleep. You'll get just as much out of the session of sleep as you will awake. Almost nobody ever does. Make sure your spine is straight and your head is up high. I recommend floor sitting with a couple cushions rather than sitting on a bed or a couch where your butt, you know, sinks down to the other side of the planet. Anything that hinders the effortless movement of your diaphragm, everything but that. You will find you're going to get infinitely more out of every session and infinitely more out of life if you show up. Straight spine and deep breath will get you through just about everything. How you doing, Carol? Is the awesomeness still unravelingly, unfoldingly awesomenessing? I had one person. By the way, everybody that's been with me for a while, they already know this. I'll tell you guys, all you new people pretending like I'm not also telling them. No matter who I'm talking to, no matter what I'm saying on these sessions, even if I pull someone in and I'm, like I say, I'm working with Barbara and we're working totally on a single focus issue that's hers and hers alone, I'm always talking to you every single time. And the more you let that in, if it doesn't make 100% sense to you right out of the gate, be totally curious. What the hell could he possibly mean by that? I'm always, every second, talking to you. Cool? Might remind you sometime. So I have a feeling, I haven't done this for weeks. And everybody goes, he's done just about every damn thing. What has he possibly done? Somebody who has been with me for a while, any of you, anybody have anything that you want help with? Anybody want to get some personal help? All right, I'm still open to see if a hand raises. I would just say this again to all you new folks. That's some trippy shit right there. I don't think I've ever seen that in any program I've ever been in. I see it, Peter. I'll be right there. What we've been doing for the last while is really radically, crazily effective group stuff. And I'm getting constant reports of people just stepping so much more into the awesomeness. And anytime someone says, oh, wait, I feel like I'm losing it or I'm forgetting it, I remind them, they go, oh, yeah, everything's awesome. So, Peter, what you got?
Hello, are you
Hey,
hearing
brother.
me? Okay.
Yep.
After last week's session with safety, I came across a memory from my childhood that I thought was something I had dealt with or is not of a big deal. And it came in hard this time, and it was about feeling
For a
safe.
second. Excuse me
Yes?
for a second. When you say it came in hard, that sounds like some kind of freaky sex thing that you were doing. So I just want to check in and see. I think you meant, I just want to check in and see. Do you mean something like you felt it really strongly?
Yes.
Ah, okay. But that's very different. I'm just checking. Okay.
Yeah. It was actually Tuesday. I had a discussion with my children about gender stuff. You know, the male, female, and all in betweens, and I have a bit difficulty with that, and we were discussing, and I got angry about some names, and especially my youngest daughter, she was a bit upset about it, and the day after I wrote her a message for apologizing, and then I came across this the reason why I felt that way, why I was upset and discussing and became angry with her, and it was because when I was a boy, from I think 8, I was driving home on my bicycle after school one day, and there was an older guy, maybe in his 20s. He drove next to me, and he tried to touch me and talking like dirty stuff to a young boy.
Mm-hmm.
And I kicked his front wheel, and I ran off, and nothing happened really, but I realized that event made me feel unsafe to people who are different than mommy-daddy relationship, you know?
All right. If you'll pause right there, I'm with you.
Yes.
I'm with you. And we will probably go further. So this, for all you new people, another thing you notice, wow, he's rude, interrupting people like that. No, with the spell breaking stuff, I might stop someone after 4 words because usually it doesn't actually matter. Like it really, the emotion matters, okay, and what you feel matters, which is why part of why when Peter said it hit me hard, whoa, let's talk about what you actually felt something. So a couple of things that I might have paused you for, Peter.
Yeah.
You breathing with me, buddy?
Now I am.
Yeah, yeah. So that's up, and you feel that. You feel that unsafe feeling. So stay with it and keep breathing. And I'm going to really underline something. You said that made me feel safe. That situation made me feel unsafe with people like outside of. Okay, got it.
Yeah.
And I know what you mean, and I also know English isn't your first language. However, what we say is coming out of somewhere, and it's almost always out of our unconsciousness, especially when we're talking about something that we found upsetting when we were little. We were not like all verbal fucking ninjas, you know, from 1 year old to 14. And so I just want to have you revisit something here for a minute. So close your eyes. Everybody knows who I'm talking to. Like, it's really obvious I'm only working with one here, I think. So if you'll close your eyes while you're breathing and say, that event, everybody else can just pick an event. That event made me feel scared. Feel your body.
That event made me feel scared.
Now keep feeling that. Keep feeling that. Keep feeling that. And really move your awareness now into your hands and your feet and your body, especially your gut, your belly. And just while you're breathing and feeling your body, really tune in, feeling your body. Don't worry about doing it right, everybody. Just do it. And say out loud, that event made me feel scared.
That event made me feel scared.
Feel everything happening in your body. Now just wiggle your tailbone for just a second. Give yourself a shiver from the tailbone. One little shake. You can't do it right or wrong. All right. Now, eyes closed. Breathe in deep, Peter. Feeling into your body and say, I felt scared after that event occurred.
I felt scared after that event occurred.
Now, what kind of difference do you feel?
It's less tense for me.
That's right. That's right. So if you tune into that less tense, you're going to notice that your gut is actually relaxing a little bit.
Yeah.
Might be a little easier to breathe. A little smoother breath. So that event happened and then I felt scared. There's the truth. Would it be possible for a human being on this planet to have had that experience and not been scared?
I guess not.
Well, check in. Well, I'm asking about possibility. Check in and see. No guessing this time, buddy. Is it possible that someone on the planet could have had that experience and not felt scared?
I think not. No.
You think not? Okay, that's helpful for me to understand. So the way it looks to you right now, when you look out at that whole experience, you were pretty sure it made you scared, and you're actually pretty scared that anyone in the world who went through that situation would feel scared. And I hear you and I understand that.
Yeah.
So envision, if you will, a little boy fully in touch with his intuition and his oneness with the universe. And in the moment that guy rides up on the bicycle and moves to touch him, the boy is so present, feeling so tuned in and so safe, so completely loved by mommy and daddy, and so freaking safe. If that moment happens, he just happened to have been holding a stick he picked up at the ground, so he slides it into the spokes of the guy's wheel or kicks his front wheel and rides away. Man, wow, that could have gone different than it did. So I'm asking you, is there any possibility, and can you see and sense any possibility that someone could have had that experience, 8-year-old boy or girl, and not been scared?
I see that now.
A possibility, yes. Okay. So let's just do this. Let's just say out loud, it is possible that someone could have gone through that experience and not been scared.
It is possible that somebody could have been through that experience and not being scared.
That's right. So feel the relief in your body. I want to remind everybody, I'm only working with you. You have your own situation. You can easily be making these statements about and feeling. It doesn't matter how closely related or unrelated. There's only one here. And Peter's experience is our experience. It's my experience. That which is the most personal is the most universal, because no matter where you go in the universe, no matter where you go in the universe, you're in the center of the universe. You're in the center of the one. So that which is most personal is most universal. It's in everybody. If it's in, and here's the thing, I'm Peter, and I'm the guy that rode up on the bike, and I'm the ground that they were riding on. So Peter, when you realize somebody might have gone through that and not been scared, then do you see, as I do you see that it is actually impossible for that event to have made you feel scared?
Yeah.
Holy shit, me too. Me too. So why did this matter? You know, you're starting to tell me the story, you tell me, and I stop you at that one sentence. We're talking about this huge thing, right? This huge, oh my God, this event happened, and what it has to do with the gender situation and weirdos and perverts and whatever else ideas we've come up with. Talking about this whole huge thing. I could be responding to anything and everything else, and I chose to stop at one sentence. It made me feel scared. Doesn't mean that we won't get on to more. The only thing is that if we handle this aspect of that hologram completely, there probably won't be anything else to address.
Yeah.
So you got scared. Yeah, go ahead.
It was a scary situation, but as that 8-year-old boy, I knew exactly what to do, as you said, and I did it.
Hang on a second. It sounds like to me like we just took a step back into the past again for a moment. So let me check in. Could someone have been in that situation and not felt scared?
Yeah.
Keep breathing. Then it can't be a scary situation.
Yeah, it was such just a situation.
It was a situation. It was just a fucking situation. It was what happened was what happened. He could have jerked you into the woods and raped you and killed you, or he could have stumbled on his way to touch you, and infinite possibilities existed in that moment. And what happened was exactly what happened. Nothing more, nothing less, nothing to make into something more dramatic, less dramatic. And so check this out. Oh, whew, what a diamond mine we are sitting in the midst of right here. So, Peter, everybody knows who I'm talking to, right? If you just point at the person that I'm talking to, it would be very, very encouraging for me to know that, yeah, almost everybody. So you started, Peter, with telling me, this thing came up with my kids, and fuck, like, I didn't think it was a big thing, right? It was no big deal, right?
Yeah.
Every time anyone says anything like that to me, I know that if we go in and touch it and love it and help it dissolve back into light, their life's going to change. Every time anyone says to me, oh, it wasn't a big thing, I mean, it doesn't even affect me, I always know. It's one of the few things left that I know. Those not big deals, that's all the repressed shit.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah. So watch this. Watch how the mind and the beliefs and the ideas can create so much drama. This first statement might not sound like drama. It was no big deal. That's de-dramatizing the event and making it less than it was. And it's a scary situation is dramatizing it, making it more than it was. Which means we're in it rather than it being in us. And oh, here's what happened. It was an event. It was a set of circumstances. This happened. from the story that I'm telling, it started when I got on my bike, maybe, and then there was this part that, like, I call the event, which he rode up beside me, and for the next several seconds, da 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 da, and then it ended, and I was scared. That's the event. Actually, there is no event. It's a part of the flow of since you were born till now. It's not a separate event. It doesn't have a start and an end time. Nothing ever does, and we think in those terms almost all the time to our detriment. So there was a moment that came where this event occurred and you felt scared. I understand. I completely understand. And I heard you say it might not be a big deal and that you perceived that you had handled it. It wasn't nothing, it really is. It was no big deal. Then you're surprised by what a big deal it was. I dig that. I can relate too. I've seen this before and I've experienced it myself. And you felt unsafe in that moment for sure. And afterwards. And that unsafe has been sitting, running ever since. And it got a chance to come to the light with you talking to your kids about a topic. Best session ever in the works. Anybody, if there's anything about this that is at all relevant to you in any way, anything about this that's in any way relevant in any way, you ever had a moment in your life where, okay, that's virtually everybody. And those of you who didn't raise your hand, listen to me. I'm saying this with love and respect. Those of you that didn't raise your hand, you either ain't paying attention as much as you could, or you might feel shy, or maybe you don't have hands. There's a couple of you that just joined. I don't know. You might not. So I'm just saying, if you don't see relevance in this, you're pretty much not paying as much attention as you could. So Peter, you lived through it, and here you are. Here you are. And the fear that happened, the event that happened and the fear that you felt, that fear obviously got switched on and never switched off. And therefore, when you had this conversation and it came up, you go, what the fuck, where was that? Where the hell was that? It was sitting in the middle of your life and your relationships with yourself and everyone else in the universe. That's where it was. And sometimes when you looked at people, you didn't really see them and you didn't really hear what they said because you were keeping that little 8-year-old boy safe. Yeah. And communicating with your kids on this topic, you actually thought you were getting mad. You actually thought you were getting mad. You were able to repress that sadness, that fear rather, for so long that it would come out as mad to keep itself safe. Woo. And now today you're moving through something here where you can see all of it in a very different light with that chunk of what most people would call shadow, light blasting through it again. So, how you feeling?
It's
How you feeling?
more relaxed.
All right. So, if you will, tell me about the events again. Tell me about how that, from the time that he rode up beside you, and tell me about that event, if you will, from start to finish. The event.
rode up next to me. He started to ask if he could feel my penis. He reached out to me, and at that time I kicked his front wheel, and he went off to there was barbed wire. It was next to a pasture for animals. So I think he ran into the barbed wire, and I took off on my bike as fast as I could to go home, and I was in safety again.
All right. Do you know if he got hurt or not?
I didn't look back.
Do you
And
believe he probably did?
I guess so. It was a good kick.
Okay. So I have an interesting angle just came up for me. I want to ask a question. If you'll close your eyes again, how do you feel? How do you feel about physically hurting people?
I don't like it.
When you think about hurting somebody, how do you feel?
Uh, I feel guilty.
Okay. So think about it. These two things are, I'm going to separate them for a moment as if they were different, separate things. There was an event happened one day where a guy came up beside you on a bike, asked if he could touch your dick, and then you kicked and you rode off and you felt scared and then you got back to sleep. There's another event where someone did something one day and you kicked them and maybe caused them a whole lot of physical pain. So when you think about you were riding your bike and someone rode up beside you and all they did was rode up beside you and you kicked their wheel and they probably went into barbed wire and got hurt and you rode away, how do you feel?
I would feel like an asshole, I guess. It's not a good feeling.
So is there any possibility that ever since that moment, you possibly felt as guilty about hurting him as you felt scared of what he was going to do to you?
That's possible.
It's possible.
Yeah.
So perhaps you rode away feeling a really strong mix of feelings, not just fear, guilt. I mean, what if he came after you? What if he went and reported you for kicking him? What if? When you left, you didn't know what was going to happen next, did you?
No.
So you kicked, you ride off, and then what happened?
You mean what I did afterwards?
Mm-hmm.
I went home. I told my mom, and she was okay. You did good job, but you shouldn't have done that. And that's it. There was no further consequences. In that time, people didn't call the police for such events.
Okay. So there was no other consequences other than those emotions that were running in you up until now, yeah?
Yeah.
All right. So if you close your eyes one more time, everybody, you know what to do. See him right up beside you, and you looked at him and what he looks like and what you're feeling. He says what he says to you. You got all those feelings. Just be on the bike. You're like, oh shit, what am I gonna do? And you reacted, survival, kicked, rode off. So if you'll repeat after me, buddy. I retrieve all of my energies.
I retrieve all of my energies.
Bound up in this experience on my bike with that man.
Bound up in this experience.
On my bike with that man.
Bike with this man.
And I take all those energies back.
And I take all those energies back
to the perfect place in my true self.
To the perfect place in my true self.
And just breathe. Now, we don't know how many people ever molested that guy when he was little. We have no clue. We have no clue how unsafe he felt around sex, for how long. We don't know what was done to him, by who. We don't know when he looked at you with his crazy, all those mental, emotional viruses running in his system, and you were scared. We don't know how many of those affected you. Your parents, almost definitely less than 100% conscious attitudes towards sexuality and all that stuff. We don't have any idea how much of that has affected you. Nor the emotional climate where you were living and what all was going on for you emotionally an hour before, 15 minutes before it happened, that precipitated this. We just know there was a whole bunch going on. Everybody check your posture, straight spine, deep breath will get you through anything. So Peter, I remove all non-me energy.
I remove all non-me energies.
Related to this experience on my bike with that man.
Related to this experience on my bike with that man.
From all my cells.
From all my selves.
From all my bodies.
From all my bodies.
And from my personal space.
And from my personal space.
And I send it back to its origin.
And I send it back to its origins.
With grace and forgiveness.
With grace and forgiveness.
What's up, buddy? Hey. So feel all that space in your chest, in your belly, opening up. Diaphragm can move more freely than ever before. I'm on a session, buddy. Thanks for telling me I'm on a session, so I'm not getting in conversation right now, okay? So, yeah. I see a smile brewing there, Peter. We ain't quite done yet. So, when an event like that occurs and the fear gets triggered and you ride off scared and guilty and you never breathe it out and the emotion is stuck there with all the feelings and all the thoughts and everything ever since. And then you live your life. Literally, you couldn't even guess. I mean, you could guess if you really had to, I guess. How many times in your life you reacted to what was going on around you, but you weren't reacting to what was going on around you. You were reacting to that event on the bike with the dude and all the fear and guilt you felt. Go ahead.
All the time, except when I was not, except when I was present, and that's not much.
Exactly. Exactamundo. So, you know, if the topic of hurting another person came up, the guilt got triggered just sure as if a switch was flipped, and less presence, less ability. Mahalo. It's not a joint, everybody. It's mapacho, it's just rolled. If it was a joint, I'd share. Do it that way. If the topic of sex came up, if anything, any person even remotely resembling or reminding you at all of the guy on the bike, out the window, presence out the fucking window, breath gone, reacting. And what's really extra consideration worthy in this area is everybody's 100% with me, right? Just checking in. See, some of you are 100%, maybe you all are. Every moment that you are triggered about this, every moment that those emotions are running, and every moment that you're less present and you're more like back in the 8-year-old moment, you actually are able to pay less attention and bring less presence to what's actually happening. So you don't notice everything that you could. You're not present to it all. You're reacting and defensive and deflecting and fighting and snapping and not even knowing you're doing it. So you're missing what's happening, which means that the next moment and the next moment, it's actually, quote, worse. It's even trickier and slipperier to try to, because I don't even know what the fuck I just did. Like, wait, why did you know what I'm saying? So how many moments of less than presence? You went through moments of existence and events and connections without being there. So not only did you not react with presence to it, you don't really remember exactly what happened while it was happening. Now we're talking about, 30-second long event. There was no big deal. Ah, the fuck? A little 30-second event wasn't no big deal. I don't think it even affected me. So, we go back and we talk about this thing about like, okay, so I got shit in my life that I really want, and it just keeps staying out of my reach, and I don't know why. And I got all this stuff that I really don't want, and it just keeps coming back no matter what I do. And I have no fucking idea how it could be that I'm a year older today than I was last birthday, and all the things I was sure I was going to change, I haven't changed the vast majority. Like, it's just exactly like it was with me a fucking year older. Why is that? Why? I don't know. How did I create this again? How did if I accept it all, then I'm creating my reality. Then I go, but what the fuck? How did that happen? I think I just explained it. A little thing happened. It wasn't no big deal. There was no big deal. And then for the rest of your life, every time that was running, which was virtually all the time, how could you be fully present when you're trying to keep a guy from grabbing a stick and kicking it?
Fuck.
Huh?
I said fuck. Yeah.
And we've all been living with, I don't know, a couple million of these inside of us. Got enough to keep me busy for a while, I'll tell you that much.
Yeah.
All right, so Peter, here we go. Knowing that we don't know how much, oh my gosh, how many of your behaviors over the last few decades were actually reactions to that. We don't know how many of the things that you have done which you're not even aware of, that were reactions to that. How many of the things you never did because you didn't want that to happen again? So we don't, oh my God, oh my God. So let's do it out loud. I retrieve all of my energy.
I retrieve all of my energies.
Bound up in all my reactions.
Bound up in all my reactions.
To this event with this guy on the bike.
To this event with this guy on the bike.
And I take all those energies back.
And I take all those energies back.
To the perfect place in my true self.
The perfect place in my true self.
I haven't checked in on the ages of everybody on here. I don't know how old Peter is, but I would almost bet money every single one of us was breathing air during the moment that that event happened for Peter. No matter where we were, one of us was laying there in diapers, another one was graduating high school, whatever. In that moment, we were all breathing when that event occurred for Peter. All aspects and reflections of one synchronistic, infinite one. And all emanating from the one source, therefore it's just one event. So that means, Jane, that event happened in you. That event happened in you. Maybe you had just eaten too many bananas and your tummy was upset, so you caused that to happen for people. I don't know. Christine, that event happened completely inside of you. Lex, you know what I'm about to say, man. You were breathing, you're responsible. Nobody's at fault or blame. Ain't no punishment coming. And we're all responsible. What if in that moment, Christine, I'll pick on you. In that moment, Christine, instead of you being pissed off and hitting your brother for what he did, you know, or smacking the neighborhood kid, maybe in that moment, if instead of that, you had just taken a deep breath and forgiven, maybe that guy would have ridden right past Peter. I don't know, do you? Does that make sense to anybody other than me, or does that look too far out? Maybe, I don't know. I'm kind of probably, I'm not sure I'll go over that. Everybody check your breath right now. Right, I was talking to you. All right, Peter, one more line, buddy. You ready?
Yes.
All right. You made some conclusions in your life at that moment. And you didn't really give no conscious thought to none of them. You know what I mean? You just kind of went, fuck, that means conclusion, decision, determination, protection, wall, defense, never gonna, not gonna, can't make me.
Yeah.
Yeah. Not to mention what you know now about people who look like that.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Deflector shield.
Oh yeah. Everybody take your posture, straight spine, deep breath. Will get you through anything and everything. When your spine is straight, you're breathing deep like this, you're releasing emotion with every exhale. So either being that that's been running for quite a while, and being that the odds are high that somewhere, I mean, almost every one of us has experienced sexual freakiness as little kids, like some neighbor comes over and touches this, or, you know, repeated rape by freaking family members, all the way down to somebody staring at you when you're 5 years old and you're like, what the fuck is this? We've all experienced some of it, and we're all it. Okay. So knowing that some kind of sexual weirdness had happened to your parents, and there's no telling how their sexual behavior and their sexual conversation and their affection, no telling how much you had been affected by that prior to this event happening. It's almost, I mean, it's kind of like undeniable in a way. It's so obvious, I think. So being that this has been running for this long, being that you had all those conclusions in place and all these things you know, then there's probably something like momentum running in you. Like, you know, when a weight is carried forward, it'll, even when you stop pushing, it'll carry based on its momentum and friction, all that stuff. So momentum carrying forward, oh shit, more punishment, more stuff that's going to happen, more confusion with my kids, more upset, whatever it might be. Maybe the little boy at 8 is still kind of halfway waiting for that guy to come to his house and find him and hurt him for pushing him into barbed wire. No telling, man. No telling how many nights laying in bed whenever you didn't sleep as easily as you could or didn't sleep as long as you could. There's no telling how much that nervousness and that guilt and that fear was actually a part mixed in with all the other fear and all the other stuff. Yeah. Whew. So I retrieve all of my energy.
I retrieve all of my energies.
Bound up in any thoughts or ideas.
Bound up in any thoughts or ideas.
About consequences.
About consequences.
Punishments.
Punishments.
Momentum.
Momentum.
Or unpleasant inevitabilities.
Or unpleasant inevitabilities.
Related to this event with the guy on the bike.
Related to this event with the guy on the bike.
And I take all those energies back.
And I take all those energies back.
To the perfect place in my true self.
To the perfect place in my true self.
So let's breathe for a couple minutes. So Peter, now if you get really, really curious, you can just set an intention right now. You know, whatever else I've been missing related, and you can say it out loud or not, it doesn't really matter. You just feel into this intention. From this moment forward, starting right now, I am ready to see whatever I haven't been seeing. I welcome the things that I've been missing. I invite the insights that I've been blocking from myself defensively. In other words, I'm welcoming the universe, which is the rest of me. I'm welcoming all of myself to reflect to me and bring to me. I'm welcoming and inviting. I know it's actually already there glaring at me. Anyway, so this time I'm saying, I'm going to let it in. I'm welcoming. I invite it. I want to see it. I want to let this in. Whatever I've been hiding and inviting and dodging and avoiding, I am saying, yes, bring it on. Bring the insights. I want to see it all. So I welcome dreams tonight, tomorrow night. I welcome, oh my gosh, an intuitive. I run into somebody who tells me something, just da, 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 and I'm ready to be awake, tuned to my infinite freedom in this area of my life. Let's cap this off, Peter. I now attune
I now attune
my awareness in all my systems
my awareness and all my systems
to this expanded understanding and truth.
to this expanding understanding and what, truth.
Yeah.
Sorry.
Yeah, no, beautiful, man. So how you feeling?
Oh. I would like to laugh for half an hour now.
I don't blame you. Whenever you mute, go for it. Sometimes I get on the floor and do the worm.
Yeah.
Laugh and roll until my stomach hurts.
There's a lot of stuff coming in now, new energy, and also a knowing of strength, of my own strength. Power is the right word, I think. Power.
Beautiful.
I feel that's what I feel now.
What you're calling new energy, that's actually you.
Yeah.
That's actually you returning into those areas where you've been keeping yourself out so you'd be safe.
I have been keeping myself strong up until now for all my life, and that's what repeated all the time. I have to keep strong.
Well,
And
nothing will make you feel weaker than that.
Yeah. It's like driving first with your handbrakes on.
Right.
Yeah.
And it also fucks up your vehicle.
Yeah. Yeah. Oh.
Anything else you want to say?
Thank you. I love you.
You're welcome. I love you, brother. All right, please mute. I'll tell you what I'm gonna do. I literally almost just ended the session, probably the shortest session I've ever done, like just right there. We don't need any more words. If you will go and reflect on this before you go do your thing, if you'll do that. This was a very different spell break in so many ways. The fact that all of you new folks were on and I was being extra tuned in to make sure I reflected it to you guys. Well, okay, oh, that makes sense. Okay, kind of, orienting you as we go. After you watch a few sessions, you'll realize how fucking weird it really is in here. And you'll just let go and say, okay, fuck it, whatever. If he dances naked, so be it. Because you'll know that whatever comes up during the session is absolutely flawlessly, perfectly for you. We don't need another topic today. What I want to do, though, I do want to just deepen and clarify in a really simple way some things that just happen and some things we can deduce from this. Infinite, unlimited being projecting out of eternity into time and space to have an experience. Being raped and killed, chewed up by sharks, run over by a bus, have your phone notifications go off in the middle of a session. know it's here somewhere. Yay. Having your family a few months after you're able to walk, having them lock you in the basement, throw your dog food and beat you every day till you escape at 19. Man, infinite possibilities. Infinite possibilities. Infinite possibilities. Or maybe just an average everyday run-of-the-mill fucking Belgian life, you know, where you one day for a minute you're riding your bike and the guy tries to grab your dick. No big deal. Every traumatic experience, every experience that brings trauma and creates anger, sadness, or fear in your body that you don't breathe out. In that moment, you aim some of your infinite, unlimited creative ability into creating walls and protections and decisions and certainties, et cetera, et cetera, et cetera. You create an entire frozen universe around that event. And guess what's frozen in the damn middle of it? You at that age. Never to escape until you do. And so ever since then, Peter, I mean, the dude probably grew hair on his balls and everything else. It looks like a man now, right? He grew up. He's not 8 anymore, you know, and then he hooks up with Elka, and then like they go to restaurants, and he's living a fucking life here. But the 8-year-old Peter is still on the bike, freaking out, riding away from that guy in terror and guilt, with no escape and no way out. And every time he tries to communicate anything to Peter, oh, excuse me, you're growing up, but I'm still fucking stuck here. Could you please like help me out? Peter goes, oh, that's bad. I have to be strong. I can't listen to you. And he punches the little boy in the mouth, kicks him back into his terror. So the little boy, ain't no telling how many things that little boy has done. Just, excuse me, Peter. I'm still back here terrified. Could you, like, you might want to let me out, Peter, because I'm actually holding some of your creative power, your memories, your talents, your abilities, your creativity, you know, your fun. I'm part of you, dude. Nope, you are bad. I will not feel you or look at you. I think I've already handled that, and it's no big deal. So my question to you is, how many, this is going to be the weirdest question, how many little Peters do you have in you? Peter had a bunch of them. I really didn't mean that the way it came out, but I'm just going to roll with it. That's the worst ever. Damn, I love that. I think that's what I'm going to name this session. How many little Peters? I think I won't. Sorry, I'm not sorry, Barbara. So how many little Peters do you have in you? How many traumatic moments? How many frozen little yous stuck on a bike, stuck in the playpen, stuck with your dad right after the slap? I wonder if one of the reasons, if not the reason, that we all get red in the face when we're angry is because it's the anger about that slap. And after the slap, our face got red. And maybe when that anger comes up, it just does it for us. I don't know. Do you? So to be the infinite, unlimited one you are, you dissolve all of the seeming fragments back into love. Oh wait, that wasn't separate, and it wasn't that, and it was, oh. All that built-up charge that was in that moment now is balanced, and all that energy that was frozen in that situation, creating that frozen universe, is Peter's energy once again. Whew. So I often go 2 or more hours, sometimes 3 or more hours. I promise an hour a week session. Usually is 2 or 3 at least. I have a couple reasons we're gonna be flying tomorrow, and I got some stuff to do before then. And I was kind of like, man, I think I might want to make today a shorter session. Couldn't have been more perfect. I didn't have to. That was perfect. I will upload this replay ASAP, probably in the next half hour, actually. I'll just get it done. And I encourage you to go reflect on this, grab a journal. And if there was ever a session that I would recommend you to really make notes on, the second time you watch the replay. First time you want to be totally present and get every bit of this. The second time through though, and you could, if you don't know if you're going to watch it 2 or more times on the replay, what you could do is get to a moment, wow, let me make a note of that. Make the note, back up a few minutes so you're still in the flow, and come forward. Some of the points that I made, that I just kept reflecting the hologram from every possible angle as you notice me doing that, whether you notice consciously or not. You might notice it more consciously on the second or third time watching. And if you join me and Peter in our curiosity, wow, what have I been missing? What have I been reacting to? What was I doing that was a reaction to this? I'm really ready and willing to let all of it return. No walls, no protection, no separation. We'll be in an amazing place next week to go further. Those of you that are new, watch those first couple sessions a couple times. I'm not kidding when I say you will get more out of this if you make this program a priority in your life. Every time that you watch one of these replays with presence, you're going to multiply your results. And literally, some of these crazy people might nod when I say this. I got members in the last 8 or 9 programs that I did, members in this one that literally watched the replays 10 or more times, soaking it up. And because it's holographic, there will be more every time. Don't think, oh, I saw that. No, you didn't. Trust me, you didn't. No more than Peter saw what happened on that bike, even though he's thought about it 100 times. So I love you. Yes, I'm talking to you. You're perfect. There's nothing wrong with you. Never was. It can't be anything wrong with you. Infinite, unlimited, eternal perfection. Are you kidding? Nothing wrong with you. There never was. You're flawlessly perfect. You have no punishment coming unless you claim it. And then you can have it if you want. But there's no punishment coming for you that you ain't sending. There's no unpleasant inevitability. There's no price to pay. Nothing to fix. Nothing wrong, nothing bad. Just there's infinite, unlimited love here. Infinite, unlimited love here. You had some skewed perceptions from decisions you made very early on. Understandable. And you can forgive it all. And forgiving it means actually turning it back into light the way that it was before you unforgave it. So I'll post the video. You guys comment under this one. I will see you next week. I love you.